Hi everyone, this is Alan Rosinski of Metro Manhattan Office Space. Good afternoon. I'd like to take the opportunity today to discuss the problem of vacant retail storefronts, which has taken on biblical proportions. It's just in New York City, you go walking down the streets and you get entire blocks where the retailers are gone and it just feels empty, and you have an increased level of homelessness and there's fewer people in the city. So it creates an atmosphere of blight, and it's like this everywhere in the large cities, mid-sized cities, and we need some kind of a solution to this problem. I mean, before the pandemic hit, there was talk about taxing landlords who kept their stores vacant for too long. I know San Francisco has a law where if a landlord has a vacant storefront for more than 6 months, they get taxed. And the law was very, very controversial because you could say, hey, the landlords have a right to hold out until they get a tenant they're comfortable with, until they get terms they're comfortable with. And what the city could say is that these vacancies are harming the community. They translate into fewer jobs, reduced tax revenue, reduced foot traffic, and they create a sense of blight. So it's really not a simple problem. I mean, but you know, sometimes you get an innovative solution. And you know, I was reading the Wall Street Journal last week, and they had a very interesting report about what's going on in Southampton. You know, apparently the mayor there, Jesse Warren, who was, I think, elected in 2019, made the issue of vacant storefronts something that was addressed in his election campaign. And I mean, he's making efforts to deal with this problem. In fact, they have a program in Southampton which is called the Storefront Art Project. What the Storefront Art Project is a partnership between the town of Southampton, the certain arts associations, and landlords. And the way it works is that landlords are encouraged to reach out to the Southampton Arts Center or the Southampton Artists Association to get involved, and that artists have the opportunity, if they participate, to have their artwork displayed in storefront windows, and they can potentially profit when that artwork is sold. So you have emerging artists, young artists, and it really gives them an opportunity to showcase their works of art. So, I mean, this is helping the cultural, artistic community in Southampton, and it's helping retailers because the effect of this is, in theory, it'll maintain some level of foot traffic, people go shopping, create some tax revenue, and it'll be good for the community. I mean, there's certain limitations on this program. Is the artwork cannot make political statements, and it cannot be offensive for minors, which is all understandable. And there has to be space left in the window for a for rent sign. You know, I think this has actually become a law, and retailers will be fined, I think nominally $1,000, $1,500 if the vacant storefronts do not display art. I think the big question is, how applicable is a program like this to a mid-size or major city like New York City? I mean, personally, as a resident of Manhattan since 1982, seeing what's going on, there's nothing more I would like than to see contemporary art in the windows of vacant storefronts in New York City. I mean, you know, we've lost Broadway, there's no opera. You know, at least to get exposed to some innovative artwork, it would be something absolutely wonderful. You know, I think the Manhattan Borough President, Gail Brewer, was approached about a similar program, and she was in favor of it. And you know, this is according to the Wall Street Journal article about a week ago. Now, what I've done for my viewers is I have reached out to Mayor Jesse Warren, and I've asked him for the opportunity to interview him for this channel. I have also reached out to the office of Manhattan Borough President Gail Brewer to request an interview with Gail Brewer. I mean, I've never done this for this channel, but I find this to be such an innovative idea that would really benefit New York City that I would be very curious to hear the perspective of the mayor of Southampton and Manhattan's borough president as to whether this would work in New York City. It's a wonderful idea, and I would like to know from my viewers, what do you think? Do you think a partnership between the city of New York, the cultural community, and landlords would work, that this would be something which would be a plus for New York City? If you found this content interesting or helpful, I'd be happy if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can always find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @MetroManhattan. Until the next time.